Post about how much I charge for my chocolate covered strawberries, it causes quite the stir. Like, are you guys genuinely okay? It's not that serious. It's chocolate covered strawberries.
Hi guys, how we doing? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm feeling a little bit like flushed today, so if I look a little bit redder than normal, I'm just a bit like rosacea today. Thank you guys so much, A, for reaching 50,000 subscribers. Special shout out. Honestly, love you guys to absolute pieces. If you've just tuned in or if you've been there since day dot, I just want to say thank you so much. Like, honestly, your support means everything to me. It means that I can continue doing this, and I honestly, mwah, bottom of my heart. Also, thank you as well for the love that was on my last video. This video is actually going to be semi-tied in, kind of, a scandalous thing with chocolate covered strawberries instead of a Walmart vintage heart cake.
Now let's talk about the brown juice. The brown juice is not from the chocolate.
Yeah, so this actually kind of happened at the same time, but I didn't catch it until the other day. And I would argue that the women, and there are men, I'm sure, out there who are selling chocolate covered strawberries are making an absolute racket, racking up dollars with these chocolate covered strawberries. And there's one particular creator that I came across, her video went viral when she disclosed just how much she charges for her chocolate coated dunked strawberries. We are literally talking about getting a strawberry and dunking it in chocolate. White chocolate, dark chocolate, milk chocolate, you get the idea.
These just aren't comparable. And when people say that they are, it just really makes me angry.
Her name is Stephanie and Drew. We've got 119.6k followers, stay at home mum, treat making plus reselling. And then she also has a treat making course. Ooh, I did not come across this when I was doing my research. Obviously, didn't research hard enough. She came out and she delivered this video where she was breaking down the cost of how much money she makes from doing these strawberries. Now, she does preface this by saying that where she lives in Florida, this is like average.
I'm a stay-at-home mom treat maker, and my base price for chocolate covered strawberries is $50 a dozen. I've dipped so many strawberries this year. I don't know if breakable hearts are just kind of phasing out, so that's just not like a popular item for me this Valentine's. What's really popular is dozens of strawberries. So this was actually a dozen and a half, so it was 18. So it was the base price of $50 and then $25 for the additional. Strawberries are on like very good sales. These were $3.50 a carton, so really the bulk of the cost was $3.50. For chocolate, I use half of a thing of almond bark, $2 for that, and then really just like some food coloring in the box, so we'll put like $1 towards that. This order took me about 45 minutes to do, making it very profitable. Strawberries are a very profitable item for me.
It takes her 45 minutes. 45 minutes. Okay, 45 minutes flavor. Price 75. So, and I wrote this down because I was a bit confused because my dyscalculate brain isn't very good at numbers, obviously. So for 18 strawberries, $75. Strawberries cost her £3.50. Chocolate £2.50. Box and extras $1. Total cost $7. Her profit is $68. And I fully embrace what I said in my last video. There is a clientele for everyone. Everyone, there's a clientele. If somebody wants these chocolate coated strawberries, yes, they can go and buy them from these people for like, I'm still in awe, $75 for 18 strawberries. Yes, if there's clientele. But the one thing I will say, which was actually backed up by this other kind of baker that I saw, it's not as if you're really making anything. You're getting a strawberry and dipping it in chocolate. It's not like these Walmart at-home bakers.
Chocolate dipped berries do not require the same amount of skill that it does to decorate a vintage heart cake. I totally get pricing should reflect the berries, the time, the admin, the boxes, whatever. And yes, groceries have gotten ridiculous, but devil's advocate, there's no butter and there's no eggs in chocolate dipped strawberries. In my area, it's like $7 for 2 pints of strawberries, and you could get probably about 2 dozen usable berries from that. Add in the cost of chocolate, your boxes, your labors, and yeah, you should charge appropriately. But unless those berries are dipped in 24K gold and grant me eternal youth, $60 is wild. I've been seeing a lot of people say, the skill it takes. My 10-year-old nephew can dip strawberries just as good as me.
Anyone can do this. Anyone can do this. And there are people actually willing to pay. This is what I'm most struck about. There is people that is willing to pay $75 for 18 chocolate covered strawberries. She then, of course, because people were calling her out. They were going, that is ridiculous. But people actually buy it, which I think is the most ridiculous part of all of this. People genuinely buy it. Whatever. I'm obviously not their target audience.
Post about how much I charge for my chocolate covered strawberries, it causes quite the stir. Like, are you guys genuinely okay? It's not that serious. It's chocolate covered strawberries. Strawberries are actually not something that anybody needs to buy. No dessert is something people need to buy. It's not an essential item. It's not something that you have to have. You can also make it yourself. There's a lot of options that you can do to not buy chocolate covered strawberries. Commenting that you don't like my price or that it's too expensive is not going to change what I charge. Pricing is determined by many factors, and one of those factors being what everybody else in my area is charging. I live in South Florida, and this is the average price of what people charge. And of course, you're going to have random people that will charge half of what everybody else charges, but that's just not what I want to do. I don't have time to do that, and it's just not what I'm going to do.
To be fair, Stephanie, if that's her name, she does have a good point. Like, no one is forcing you to buy it. There are people around here that charge similar or slightly lesser, but she does make actually quite a lot of money because allegedly she has quite a lot of orders for these chocolate covered strawberries. And my 5-year-old could probably do this. I'm not saying it would look fantastic. I'm not saying it would look, as neat as hers, but she could definitely give it a go.
Here's a comparison of $14 a dozen strawberries and $50 a dozen strawberries.
She was getting a lot of internet attention from this, okay, because I was very invested in the series of videos. Going into Publix, which is a store where they are, and finding some strawberries.
The only reason I care because I love Publix. There's nothing wrong at all with buying chocolate covered strawberries from Publix, but when you start saying that they are that my strawberries are worth $4, or you start saying all these things about my work not being worth what it is, don't say that they're comparable, because they're not. So we're at Publix. Let's walk in. Let's see here. So purchased at, where's the time? Okay, here's the time. This is how they were bought. Okay, so this is how they looked in my video, correct? Am I wrong? Am I right? This is how they looked. They still have the condensation. They still have the brown juice. Now let's talk about the brown juice. The brown juice is not from the chocolate. Chocolate covered strawberries that do this do not leak liquid when they're done properly. And there's nothing wrong with Publix strawberries. Again, I'm going to eat one right now. It's just that these are not done properly. I don't know if they're good or bad. This liquid is not from the chocolate. Okay, here's the strawberry. Here's the condensation. Let's eat one. Okay, it's crumbling. Let's look at the strawberry on the inside.
The box was in a fridge type area. It had condensation on it, and of course they're in these little wrappers, so obviously condensation, wetness, chocolate is then gonna kind of stick to the bottom and leave this kind of brown residue on it, isn't it? I would have thought science and that. I would have thought that's perfectly possible. She's very perplexed about this condensation. There's a video that I saw recently where she's comparing her ones to the ones that she got in Publix, and she says the strawberries are sweating. The fact people are comparing her strawberries to the Publix ones is actually making her really angry.
Here's a comparison of $14 a dozen strawberries and $50 a dozen strawberries. I picked these up at Publix the same day that I made the strawberry I'm going to show you. Please look at how much this strawberry is sweating and how much it's leaking, and it's like a brown liquid. So gross. It's not covered all the way. These just aren't comparable, and when people say that they are, it just really makes me angry. Strawberries were made on the same exact day. Of course, there's going to be a little bit of liquid in the wrapper, and that is okay. It's normal. But this one, the strawberry has obviously gone bad. As you can see, the water is brownish. I'm still trying it for science, and I am not happy to be doing that. And look at that bite. The chocolate completely fell off. Chocolate covered strawberries should not do that, and there's nothing wrong with buying grocery store chocolate covered strawberries, but please do not compare them to my strawberries or any other treat maker for that matter, because there is a very big difference.
Do you remember what she said originally, where she said it's just chocolate covered strawberries, it's not that big a deal?
Like, are you guys genuinely okay? It's not that serious. It's chocolate covered strawberries.
It seems like it's quite a big deal for her. It does seem like it's quite a big deal. I mean, yes, obviously hers haven't been sitting in a refrigerator, but she does make the point of saying, oh, and the strawberry was rotten or something. That's not a rotten strawberry. That looks like a very nice strawberry. I think it was the condensation. Chocolate is going to be hard. It's then kind of being like refrigerated, so it's going to get condensation-y, science. And then it's going to leave a brown stickiness, no? I mean, granted, I haven't had a chocolate strawberry in a long time. Certainly, I've never actually bought them from a supermarket. I don't feel like there's such a big thing over here. Maybe someone can correct me, but I've never seen it in one of our supermarkets before. So I would like to be pedantic again. And I'm not saying she's lying, by the way. I'm just trying to think outside of the box, if you were. She said that she had done her strawberries the same day. Had her strawberries literally just been done? You have no way of knowing when the strawberries were done, aside from if they said that day. They could have been done a couple of hours or a few hours before you picked them up. When did you finish your strawberries? Had they just finished setting? Hence the reasoning why the difference in the sweating. Do you see what I mean? I'm not saying that I need her to do an exact time rundown, but that would be quite nice. Start slating the Publix one and making up. I feel like she's making this stuff up. The strawberry did not look rotten. The residue the brown liquid. Oh, there's this brown liquid. Oh, it's really funny how there's condensation and the strawberry's covered in chocolate, and then there's brown liquid. Mysterious brown liquid. No. She was trying so hard to pick fault in these strawberries, and the one thing I will say is that, yes, obviously, when she bit into the one she bought from a store, it did crumble. Like, it did. It looked like it hadn't been given as much love and attention, and there was, it needed tidying up a little bit. But for a fraction of the cost of what she's charging, I would have gone for them. Or I would have done it myself. This is one of the things that in my last video, some people were going like, some superheroes out there were going, you know what, I make cakes myself, I'm actually quite good at cooking. I admit what I'm good at and what I'm not, and what I'm not good at is baking, and I never have been. I can't stick to the instructions. Baking's so science-based, isn't it? You gotta get the right amount of ingredient and the right amount of this, and if you bake it for a little bit too long, or if you just add a fraction, a little bit less or too much of like baking soda, it messes up the thing. It's chemistry, right? It's science. So for me, I can't do it. But there were loads of people saying I could do that. I could do those strawberries. I could do them. To charge $75 and continue to get irritated with people for saying that they would much rather go and get the Publix ones. If we're going to get pedantic about it, right? If we're really going to look down to the nitty gritty of it all, if people are saying yours are just not worth it compared to the Publix ones, she's saying that the total cost of all of her things is £7, but she makes a $68 profit. Compare that to however much the Publix ones cost, like $7, $6? If you're talking about, is it worth it? Which product is better value for money? I would say it's the store-bought ones, because $75, I can't get over it. I'm seriously, I'm stuck on the $75. And I know I've said it so many times, but I think that this is just like the Walmart cake fiasco. She was getting very defensive over it. And she did make quite a few videos, and it did give me a little bit of a laugh. But by the end of it, she was literally just like, she was just making up lies about these strawberries. What do these strawberries do to deserve this? At the end of the day, know your clientele. Don't try and convince people on the internet that yours is better than the other ones, because they were never going to go to you in the very first place. Like all the people calling her out, such as myself, you can charge whatever you want, but we're just not going to go to you. And people are allowed to say that, but she thinks that hers, you know, hers are a lot better. It's like, well, I don't define better, because I'd say good value for money makes things better, and hers, if you're looking at it from value for money, isn't even on the same wavelength as the ones that you can get in the store. Do you know what I mean? I could eat 18 of them, just one after the other. Yeah, anyway, what do you guys think about the chocolate covered strawberry drama? I would love to hear everyone's thoughts and feelings on this, especially all the people that followed me from my last video, or if you're joining, whoever, whatever. I'd love for you guys just to join in on the discussion, because yeah, I would argue that this is going on par. And I would love to hear more people's opinions on how much they are willing to pay for chocolate covered strawberries. Yeah, thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you guys have a wonderful day wherever you are in this world. Take care of each other, take care of yourselves, and I will catch up with you guys in the next video.